Anchors up, sails at full. Welcome to the Sloopcast. How are you doing today, Kyle?
Doing all right, Jared. Doing all right. How are you doing today?
I am not going to complain. Kyle, we did this episode once last year. I think we did it last year. Maybe we did it 2 years ago, but we wanted to bring it back. Was it last year or was it 2 years ago? Do you remember? I don't remember.
One of the two.
It all starts to roll together after a while. But we'll do it again because it was fun the first time. And of course, lots of things have changed since then. Kyle, this is the state of the program tier list. The state of the program tier list. Let's talk about what this is.
All right.
This is the overall health and status of a football program. This is not how good you've been the past few years. This is not how good, although that will play into it. This is not how good are you going to be just this next year, although that will play into it.
Does this go into how good you are at cheating?
It can.
Okay.
It can. So this is not a, we'll talk about like what a team's been like the past 3 years, and we'll probably talk about what a team will be like for the next 3 years. And I think we just kind of have to weigh the health of a program right now. So I think a good way of looking at this is like, what can a team accomplish over the next 3 to 4 years? I think is the framing for this.
All right.
What can a team hope to achieve over the next 3 years? So with that,
right, cool.
Let's get over to our tier list.
All right. Before we go into each of the teams, let's break out each of the definitions here, all right?
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to start with the S tier. S tier, I think, is going to be pretty self-explanatory. Serious national contenders. This is your Georgias, your Ohio States in my mind here. So that's your serious national title contenders.
We'll just go ahead and slide those two over right now.
A tier, national title contenders. So they have a chance. They're talented enough to be a national title contender, but there's notable flaws. There's ifs about the team. If this happens, what would be a good example of
Alabama.
This one? Alabama would be a good one. How
There's
good
no doubt
with Saban gone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is.
Are they a national title? Yes, they are definitely a national title contender. But
if with a coaching changeover they can keep the momentum they've had, or at least get close to the momentum, even if they're at 90% of Nick Saban, that's still one of the best programs in the country.
It is.
Yeah. And I think we'll go ahead and slide Michigan into there as well. Fresh off of a national title. Okay, Kyle's going to fight me on that.
All right. B tier, expected to make the playoffs. I think you could put Michigan.
We're gonna fight. We're gonna have a fight. We're gonna have a fight about Michigan.
Okay, fine.
But I think this is Penn State.
Penn State. Okay,
I think this is
good
Penn
example.
State.
Yes.
I think this is also Ole Miss. I think these are teams who you can expect to make the playoffs, but not necessarily expect to go all the way and win the national title.
All right, good enough. I mean, there's 12 this year. There's 12, so it's not like, make the playoffs.
Yeah, not what it used to be.
That's 4. That's 4 in the past. C tier, capable of making the playoffs. So good enough teams. I think this could be like maybe we'll fight about it, like a USC. Good enough. They're good enough to make it, but I don't think they're expected to make the playoffs. Maybe.
They're kind of, USC is kind of a border BC, I would say. Good enough to make the playoffs on occasion. I think a good example,
like Oklahoma.
I think Oklahoma is a good example. Yeah, I think Oklahoma is a good example.
Middle left.
Middle left. There we go.
Select one. There you go. Yeah.
There we
So
go.
capable of making the playoffs is the C.
Yeah, and
D.
we wouldn't need to go into detail in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
It's fine.
D. Expected to be bowl eligible.
Yeah.
So this would be.
You are expecting. How about Minnesota? We don't expect
Jared
them
going after his Golden Gophers.
I'm putting them in D tier.
Jared's Golden Gophers. He did it. He did it.
Put them in D tier, Kyle. This is a team that you don't. This is not a team who you think even on their high year is going to make the playoffs.
But Jared,
yeah,
you picked them out though. You could have picked anybody else that could have been in D tier, and you picked.
I put him in D tier.
All right, I'm just pointing out that you went
Kyle,
after and picked them up.
Kyle, we don't have time for this.
And then F tier is they're happy to go 500.
This is going to be like where everyone else goes, essentially.
Yeah.
So, Indiana.
Sure. All right. Let's go ahead and jump into it here. So SEC.
Northwestern.
Let's start with the SEC first, Jared.
All right.
We're gonna go alphabetical order here. So Alabama. Oh, we already have Alabama in A tier. So
there you go.
We'll keep them at A tier there. All right. Arkansas.
Where's Arkansas? I mean, they're like I don't expect them to really ever make the playoffs over the next 4 years. Yeah. So they're going to be either D or M/F, whatever you choose to frame it.
So last year Arkansas went 4-8, 1-7 in the SEC conference.
Yeah.
Dare I say they should go into the F tier? Happy to go 500. They went 4-8 last year.
They are 52. They have a 52% win percentage over the last 3 years. That's an M tier.
Right.
That's an M tier.
All right, Auburn. Auburn is the next one here. Last year, Auburn went 3-5, 6-7 in their overall. I think this would be. Yeah, that's fair enough.
They're over the last 3 years, they're sub 500. That's an automatic M.
Yeah,
and again, we also have to project forward. So if this is a situation where, yeah, they suck right now, but there's a lot of reason for hope, then maybe we can talk about elevating them up a level. But I don't see that in Auburn territory.
Florida is the next one here. Did not have a good season last year. Went 5-7, 3-5 in conference here. I think.
Do they have any reason for hope right now that they're going to get out of this sub 500 slump that they've been in? Over the past 3 years, Florida is 44%.
Ooh, yeah.
They are 17-21. Over the last 3 years. If I meant to say 3, if I didn't say 3.
I was trying to think of a good reason to put them in C tier, but man, it's hard to. It's hard to put them in.
You're being blinded by their branding. You're being blinded by their branding.
You're right.
Georgia, we've already placed.
What did they add this year that would help elevate?
They lost their best running back.
Yeah. I feel fine putting him in M.
No, it's where they belong. Georgia, we already placed Kentucky.
Yep. Kentucky had an odd season last year. I think they did didn't they start off red hot and then tapered off? Yeah, that's what it was. They started off 5-0.
Yeah.
Then went 2-6 their last 8 games.
They're barely
Yeah.
over 500 over the past 3 years. That's not fair. They're 61% over the past 3
And
years.
still, they're not capable. They're not capable of making the playoffs, so they're D.
I agree.
LSU.
LSU is such a frantic team. They can be so
They have their
far
ups and
up or
downs.
so far down. I mean, they're realistically only 65% over the past 3 years, but I think they have a lot of positive momentum.
I think they're C. I think they're C. Capable of making the playoffs. They lost a lot of talent here. I don't know much about LSU of them being that they should make the playoffs, essentially. I know
Didn't
like
you
last
in
year,
our
yes.
projections claim? I mean, in your defense, it was a wild prediction show. In your defense, so it was a wild prediction, but you did say that they were going to win the SEC this year.
I did.
You
I
sure
did.
did.
I sure did.
But in your defense, it was a wild prediction. Like it was a
wild prediction.
It's not a thing you said was absolutely going to happen. It was a thing that was a wild prediction.
Mississippi State. I got to put them like a
M.
M. Yeah.
You make a case for them not to be an M. I dare you.
Yes. Missouri. I think Missouri actually returns quite a few players from what I remember here.
I think Missouri's big thing is keeping their coaching staff together. I think if they can keep that crew together.
Yeah, they're going to be that. Yeah, they're a solid C. Solid C.
I would say so too.
I couldn't put them in the B tier right now, but they had one hell of a story last year.
They did.
They absolutely did, but.
And we'll see if they can keep it up. I think if Missouri has another season this next year, the way they had last year, I think you could see them as like a B tier team if we rerun this next year.
They have a very, very favorable schedule this year.
Yes, but again, this is more of a overall health of the program and not just a what are they capable of doing this year?
Yeah, so I think C here is
because again,
suffice.
I think it's a team with. This is kind of what I was talking about before about a team with positive momentum. If you look at their last 3 years, they've only won 59% of their games, and that's heavily buoyed by last year. But they're a team with positive momentum. The health of the program is good. I think it's a good example of why a team with only 59% wins over the past 3 years is actually a C. It's why I'm over-explaining it. I think it's a very good example of a team overshooting their performance over the past 3 years.
Yeah. All right. Oklahoma already put as a C tier there.
Yeah.
Ole Miss is next here, and
we already placed them at B.
We did place them at B. Yeah. South Carolina put them in F. They're nothing positives coming from the Gamecocks here. So no. Tennessee, all that talent, and nothing to show for it.
I mean, 27-12 over the past 3 years. It's not bad.
I'd still put Tennessee as C.
Yeah, no, 100%. 100%.
Can they make the playoffs? Sure, they're talented enough, but that's it.
I also would say that, and while Tennessee and Tennessee fans might say, no, we expect to make the playoffs, I don't think that that's the expectation from outside the program or from outside the fan base.
Yeah. Texas A&M, speaking of talented teams, Texas A&M, I'm going to put them at D, to be honest. Put them at D.
It's so weird because I almost want to fight you on this and say they should be C, because they do have an insane amount of talent.
They do, but just look at the loss that they've had with the players and the recruiting.
Notice how I said I want
transfer portal.
Notice how I say I want to fight you on this, but that I didn't actually do it.
All right. Yep. So yeah, D is fine. Texas. Texas. Gosh, dare I say S?
S.
S. Yes.
I think that they are my favorite to win the SEC. Are they still doing East and West?
No.
No. All right.
No.
They are one of my two favorite teams. It's them in Georgia to win the SEC, is what I'm trying to say. It's them in Georgia to win the SEC. I would say they are one of the best teams in the country this year. They are capable of winning the national title this year, and they're recruiting incredibly well. I know that they do. I think they're poised to lose a lot of talent after this season, but I think they'll be fine. Like, I think they're recruiting really well. They could be successful, very successful over the next couple years.
Yeah, if I look at the 2024 class, they finished sixth. I guess
sixth is
I guess
great.
Technically, you could still go on. They're sixth right now in the 2024 class.
No, the 2024 is over. Unless you sign an Aussie punter, the 2024 class is over.
Yeah.
All right. Next, we have Vanderbilt.
Vanderbilt, F, and then we can end the SEC right there.
Okay.
So the SEC, we got
any argument that Vanderbilt could be D?
No,
I'm kidding.
Georgia, Texas are your two S tiers. Alabama, your lone A, and then Ole Miss, your lone B. So, from what I'm taking of this list here, Jared, you got two teams that is going to be stellar this year, and then you have Alabama, and then a big drop from there.
I like Ole Miss. I don't love Ole Miss. When I say I like Ole Miss, I mean I like Ole Miss to make the playoffs. I think they're capable of being one of the top 12 teams this year.
Sure.
That's not a horrible drop-off in my opinion, but okay. Big Ten next?
Yep, Big Ten after we take a quick break here. And if you do not want these ads here, come on over to patreon.thesulcast.com, become a patron, and to bypass all of these ads. So we'll take a quick break and be right back.
Awkward silence over and or ads over, depending upon which feed you're listening to. Are we going alphabetical again?
Yep, we're going to go alphabetical, which is really odd because
it starts with I.
It starts with I.
I've never put that together before, and that is very weird. Illinois is alphabetically first in the Big Ten.
It is, even with the new additions.
This is why we need to add Cal. This, if for no other reason, is why we have to add Cal. Okay, Illinois F. Let's not waste time.
No questions. Indiana F as well.
I already put them in F. They were the first team I put in F, which, by the way, for anyone who's listening, Kyle and I are using M and F interchangeably. We're Ohio State fans. We made FM because it's funny. Because Michigan, you get it. But it's for anyone who's just listening and not watching. F and M are the same tier.
Iowa.
Would you be floored? Would you absolutely be?
Hold on. They can actually maybe play offense now that they get rid of. They can actually play offense.
Junior Ferentz.
Yes.
I would not be shocked, and this isn't me complimenting Iowa as much as it is me disrespecting the rest of the Big Ten West.
Yes.
Wait,
we're not doing the Big Ten West.
That's right. We're not doing the Big Ten West anymore. What am I thinking? Yeah. Okay.
But still.
Hold on. I was ready to put him in C.
Program as a whole. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, but if your program is playing other Big Ten West teams, that makes it easier to get into the playoffs. But there is no more Big Ten West.
There isn't.
Ooh. Iowa might have to play some actual teams this year.
Yeah, who do they play here?
Okay, overall health of the program.
I don't think the program's that bad.
Well,
I almost
Ferentz
feel
could
like
retire at any point.
Yeah, I feel like we need to have like a D+ or something, and that's where Iowa goes.
Yeah, I'm struggling with Iowa. They're the anti-Texas A&M.
Yeah,
honestly, they aren't talented, yet they always put good seasons together.
Honestly, because of like how well they've done recently. I mean, they had a 10-win season last year.
That's the thing.
Yeah, they had a 10-win season in 21. Not going to count 2020. They had a 10-win season in 2019. Like it's not a bad, like I feel like you should keep them in C. Capable of making the playoffs? Probably not, but are they capable? A 10-win season gets you talks about it.
I've never been more. This is the most conflicted placement we've had so far, because I really don't feel like they are good enough to be in C yet. 28-13 over the past 3 years.
But the title of this episode, the state of the program.
I know. Listen, I'm just arguing with myself at this point. I don't like it. I don't like putting Iowa at C, but it's the right place to put them.
All right. The Terrapins are next.
Terps. I think it's a pretty big compliment at this point to maybe say,
yep.
Are they D?
Put them in D. Yep.
So they're also the anti-Iowa, because my thinking is, hey, now that they're not having to play in the Big Ten East anymore, that maybe they actually have an opportunity to. They're not going to make the playoffs though. But
they have not won more than 8 games. I'm still going back in years. I'm in 2014 and they still have not won more than 8 games.
I know. I'm just kind of torn between D and F. That's all.
Gotcha. They're expected to be bowl eligible. Yes.
Okay.
I think that is where Maryland belongs. Yes.
Michigan. To me, they are A tier. The definition of A tier, to reiterate, national title contender, but has a notable if or flaw.
So,
the notable
what is
if.
The notable
well, it's a notable if. The notable if is that they are in the middle of a coaching change. If they survive the coaching change and losing an insane amount of talent. An insane
amount of players heading out of
which means
Michigan.
That they're going to be very bad this year. But this isn't just about the 2024 season. I think fresh off of a national title, and yes, I know, asterisks on the national title. I understand. But for right now, it is a national title. Maybe it'll get vacated later, but for right now, it's a national title. They're fresh off of a national title, and they have some big question marks, most notably replacing their head coach. But it would feel disingenuous to put them down at B, fresh off of a national title win, which for now is a legitimate national title.
We're missing the big thing, Jared. They belong in M tier.
I know. But again, if we're trying to do this correctly, I believe they belong in A tier.
All right, moving on. Their big brother, Sparty. Big brother, Sparty.
M tier is correct, by the way, says Odin. All right. I mean, M tier. Their coach just got fired. They didn't have a great
Yeah,
season.
it's yeah. Ugh.
The state of the program is not good.
Downward spiral of Michigan State.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I cannot think of a reason.
Yeah. Move on.
To put them up. Yeah,
I agree. Move on. They are where they belong to be.
okay.
Nebraska.
Jared already put their his Golden Gophers in D tier. Nebraska. Nebraska has not been good at all since they've been in the Big Ten.
They rightfully belong in M tier based off of their performance.
Yes.
However, given coaching changes, given that they just signed who is arguably the best quarterback in the class, they have Dylan Raiola coming. They have a brand new NFL level coaching staff. I think there's reason for hope here.
They have not.
Jared, we have to mix past and future here.
I'm about to fight you on this one. I think they should be an M tier. I think they should be an M tier because if I'm looking if I look at the state of the program that they are right now,
Kyle,
they have not.
If you're going to try,
they have not won more than 5 games.
Yeah, listen,
they have not won more than 5 games since 2016.
You are presenting a logical argument, and logically speaking, you're correct.
But they should be M.
Your argument,
they should be in that bottom tier.
Your argument is based in logic, and I appreciate you for that.
And I'm putting them in F tier in my list.
My argument is coming from a place of emotion, which is that they have a lot of positive momentum, and there is a ton of hope around the program right now.
I think you're giving them too much credit just because of the logo.
No, it has nothing to do with the logo. I don't care about their logo. This has to do with signing the best quarterback in the country and having one of the absolute best hires in college football coaching this year.
I don't agree, but you can keep them in D. I don't agree with it, but
again, we're talking about the state of the program. We're talking about the health of the program. They just got a really insane injection of hope.
All right.
I think expectations are up because of it.
All right, we're going to move on here. I guess I'll just mark them D here. Northwestern, I think they go in F tier.
I already have them.
You do have them there. Yep. Ohio State, we already have an S tier. Missed one. Oregon, new face Oregon in the Big Ten here.
They're S or A?
A. I'm going to put them A. With the talent that they had last year, if they had the talent they had last year, I put them in S. But I feel confident in putting them in A tier. They have a lot of talent, but there's notable ifs in here to me, and that's why, by definition, they would go in the A tier.
I think that Oregon is capable of winning the Big Ten this year. And I think you're looking at an Ohio State team who will be losing a ton of talent at the end of this season, leaving the door wide open for another top-tier team to take over for at least a year. I think Oregon is incredibly capable of winning it all over the next 3 to 4 years. Now you could say if.
Tell me, can you name me? Can you name me their quarterback?
They just signed 2 of. I can't do name recognition right now. My ADHD is terrible today. But they just signed 2 of the best quarterback portal guys this offseason. The one guy from Oklahoma, whose name I can't remember, Gabriel. Yes, Gabriel. Thank you, Austin. And didn't they also get the guy from UCLA? They got two of the best portal quarterbacks this year. Dante Moore. Yes. Thank you for the help, chat. I get that right now, if we were just talking about 2024, we could very easily say A tier because the big if is replacing Bo Nix.
Yep.
But we're not just talking about 2024. We're talking about the overall state of the program, and I think that they are well positioned to be title contenders for the next couple years. I think they belong in S.
All right, fair enough. Penn State, you already put them in B tier, and I think that's fine. Purdue.
I think they are the B tier team. I think Penn State is the gold standard of the B tier. Purdue F.
Yeah, F. I can't. Yep. Same with Rutgers F. Washington is a tough one.
I almost want to fight you on Rutgers.
Because of the recent success with Washington, it's hard for me to put them in A, that they're a national contender, but I feel that Washington should be a B tier. I think they can make the play. I think maybe C.
No,
I think B.
You're
I think
going
B.
nuts.
Yeah, let's go with B. Expected to make the playoffs for Washington.
Kyle, this is a team that was in the playoffs last year when making the playoffs was actually crazy. Hard to do.
I would say B.
They are a national, if they can, they are to me just, I mean, of course they're not, as a program, they're not Alabama, but if they can survive their coaching change, they were a national title contender last year. If they can survive their coaching change, this is what A tier is. It's a national title contender, but with a big if on it. Austin, I hear you, but that's literally the definition of A tier. National title contender, but has a notable flaw or if. That is by definition Washington right now. They were just a national title contender. They lost their coach. That's a notable if. They lost their entire offensive line, starting receivers. So the question is, do they have enough talent? Do they have enough oomph as a program to have a down year in 2024, which we're all expecting to happen?
I agree with Austin here.
Be overall a strong enough program to recover and be back in the national title hunt in a couple years. This is about what you're capable of doing over the next 3 to 4 years, right?
Yeah, I say no.
I disagree, but
I think they should be in B tier.
I disagree with that sentiment, but
yeah. All right. Washington. We just talked about Washington. Wisconsin.
LSU and C is crazy talk, says Austin. We have C as capable of making the playoffs, but not expected to make the playoffs. Do you still agree, Austin? Those are our definitions? LSU is literally Penn State.
That's true.
I have a hard time disagreeing with that sentiment, Kyle. And
but
by
LSU
the way, Nick Saban,
at least one things.
And also no more Nick Saban. Like, honestly, if we're talking about the health of the program, not having Nick Saban right there has to factor into that.
Maybe, yeah.
I think Austin's right.
All right. We got to move on here. Wisconsin. I think Wisconsin is, at this point, it's D. Expected to be bowl eligible. They're not capable of making the playoffs yet. So I cannot put Wisconsin in C. I cannot.
They are very D plus to me, because I do think Fickle is doing good things there this year. Part of the problem is that the Big Ten just got a lot harder to play in.
Yeah. All right. UCLA. Where do you want to put them? D or F? I don't know.
I think they rightfully should be in D if they hadn't just lost Chip Kelly, but they did just lose Chip Kelly.
Yeah.
Um, they did just we'll put them in D. We'll put them in D.
All right. And then USC. I I almost want to put USC in B. I think USC in B. They have the talent. I think they're going to be right there and to making the playoffs there. So yeah, I say B.
Expected to make the playoffs versus capable of making the playoffs is, man, they are. USC went 7-5 and lost their generational quarterback. Can you please put generational in quotations for me, Austin? Thanks. They are such a C plus B minus team. If whatever, we need to move forward, but I don't feel you could put them in C, you could put them in B. I wouldn't fight anyone either way on that.
All
All right, Kyle.
ACC next.
Yeah, and before we do the ACC, let's go to commercial. If you can avoid these commercials by going to patreon.thesloopcast.com and signing up for a $3 tier, which is only $32 a year, you get a little bit of a discount if you pay for the whole year up front. But again, it's only $3 a year. And you get to avoid these ads. You get premium access to the Discord server. You get early access to episodes. You get a lot of cool benefits over at patreon.thesloopcast.com. Here is that ad break now. Okay, Kyle. I want to speed. I want to speed round. Funny story during the ad break, Jared. Well, the ad break isn't very long. People should totally buy the Patreon. I agree, Austin. Thank you. Austin, maybe our longest tenured patron. I'd have to actually look up numbers on that, but longest continued patron very well could be Austin. Probably. All right, so let's speed round the Big 12 and the ACC, Kyle.
All right, let's go ahead and do the ACC. I don't have them in alphabetical order. I'm just going to go in.
That's fine.
Order. I'm just going to go in order of how they did last year. So we're going to start from the bottom here. Wake Forest, F.
You already stated your bottom of the ACC, F.
Yep. Virginia,
F.
Pittsburgh, F.
Yeah, I just because they were good when they had Pickett, but they were only good because of Pickett.
Syracuse,
F.
All right. Boston College,
F.
I think you can put them in D. They're
just,
on that.
Except that they just lost their head coach because he decided he'd rather be an offensive coordinator in the NFL.
Right.
If it weren't for Hafley leaving.
Syracuse did get McCord, though.
Oh, my God.
Miami is next.
Okay,
well, you put MSU or...
I know, I accidentally grabbed
SMU.
Hold on. I'll fix it.
SMU can probably
just start talking.
Anyway,
okay, you know what? Actually, Miami... that's a fair point, SMU. Because they're not going to be on your ACC list.
All right, Miami. State of the Union for Miami. I got it.
Miami should be B, says Austin. Absolutely not. Expected to make the playoffs? No way. Capable of making the playoffs?
Capable of making the playoffs? Sure.
Well, we're not doing based on talent alone. Do you see where Texas A&M is? They're C at correct.
I think C is appropriate for them. Blue Devils, Duke,
F.
Yeah. But God, they've hold on. Yeah, he's right. They've had some good years.
Over the past 3 years. They are 2 games above 500.
Over the past 3 years? Oh, I guess that 2021 season really hurt them then.
Okay, so you're
2022 they
saying
were 2022 they were 9-4, and last year they were 8-5. So I put him in D. I put
positive.
him in D. Bowl eligible.
Well,
Bowl
okay, you know
eligible.
what? Positive momentum as a program,
Yeah.
gaining some
Okay.
ground. As Austin pointed out, they did
North,
just hire Manny Diaz.
all right. North Carolina. I think North Carolina lost a lot of talent. I don't think they are capable of making the playoffs.
They
So
are not.
that puts them to D. Clemson. I think Clemson's a C. I think Clemson's a C. They capable? Are they expected? Yeah.
Here's the thing.
But hold on. But to be fair though,
Here's the thing.
how many guarantee spots does the ACC get?
Yeah, you're reading my mind. Now this won't start for like another 2 years though, right? The expanded 14 isn't happening if it happens. That's not even official yet.
Yeah.
We might not even have an ACC by then.
Maybe.
Um,
As of right now, yes. I think C, capable of making the playoffs, sure. Expected, not from what we've seen the past few years. No.
I agree.
Virginia Tech.
The only reason I was going to even maybe make the case for them at B is because the ACC sucks. If they were in the SEC or Big Ten, game over.
Virginia Tech. D, F? I'm not sure where.
They have to be an F.
All right. I know they had a... Yeah. Georgia Tech, F.
Yeah, Georgia Tech gets an F.
Wolfpack, I guess D. D is appropriate for the Wolfpack. Louisville.
Hold on.
What you doing? Did you forget the Wolf? No, I see the Wolfpack there.
No. Are we? I don't. Why do I not have? What are they called?
What are you looking
here?
for?
What's their record over the last 3 years?
Who? Georgia
North
Tech
Carolina.
or NC State?
North Carolina State.
Oh, let's see. Last year they were 9-4. 2022 they were 8-5. 2021 they were 9-3. Going to skip 2020. 2019 they were 4-8.
Okay, so I'm wrong.
They're not capable of making the playoffs. I'm sorry, Jared. They're not. That puts them at D then.
Okay. I'm just not even going to talk about how I was thinking about putting them in F instead. But I was clearly wrong about that.
Louisville.
Ooh, Louisville's an interesting case.
I don't even know about this year's Louisville team.
Well, we're not talking about this year's Louisville team, luckily. Over the past 3 years, they are 60%. Would we say that, so clearly at least D, are we saying they're capable of making the playoffs? And I kind of almost want to say yes, because the ACC is such shit.
They almost did.
They did.
Yeah.
If they weren't in the ACC, I mean, because literally the definition is...
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right.
It is what it is. If they, I think Wisconsin's a better football team than Louisville, but just sometimes the nature of the competition you're playing against.
Yep. And the last one at Florida State, I think just because of, I really like Florida State. I really do. I think they're A.
Yeah. There's some notable ifs in place. I think they're in really good health as a program. They have some sanctions hanging over their heads right now, which I think are bullshit and should be lifted, but whatever. They have upheaval within their own conference right now. There's a lot of weirdness around Florida State.
Yeah.
But
that was real quick. through that ACC there, Jared.
All right, let's knock out the Big 12, and then we have some
All right,
pluses to roll through.
All right, we're going to do the same thing because I'm too
That's
lazy
fine.
to put these in alphabetical order. Cincinnati.
Oh, by the way, Kyle, we're not done with the ACC. You're done with last year's ACC. We have Cal.
I forgot Cal. F.
Yeah, and then Stanford F.
And F. Yep, perfect. All right, now the Big 12.
Now we're ready for the Big 12. You tell me where we're going.
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati without Luke Fickell has not been great.
Nope.
What are their results the last 2 years? I don't care about 3 years ago. What have they done without Fickell? Because we're talking about the health of the current program.
2023 they were 3-9. 2022 they were 9-4.
Wait a minute, but Fickell was not was wait a minute. Fickell was not the coach.
No.
My years are blending together again.
So Cincinnati is at this stage right now they're F.
I would say so too. If they get their coaching if they get a new coach, Fick left last year only. No, Fickell just did his first year at Wisconsin? Yes.
Really? Was it?
I'm honestly not sure.
Wow, I might get my years mixed up.
I couldn't.
No, he was there in 2022.
So it is 2 years at Wisconsin?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's 2 years. Yeah. That's what I thought.
So they had one good year without him and one good year with him in Cincinnati, but notably the bad one was the last one.
Yeah, and moving to the Big 12 too.
I don't know how much of a deal that is anymore, to be honest with you, but okay.
Well, I mean, it shows like they were dead last. They only won one conference.
Yeah, they don't have to play Memphis anymore.
All right, moving on. Baylor. Moving on from the Bearcats to the Bears. F. Sorry.
Just don't apologize. They suck.
BYU. F as well.
BYU and F.
Uh-huh.
Does anyone want to make a case for them at D?
No, we're going to move on.
Okay, everyone says, yeah. Odin literally says BYU might be lucky to go 6-6, which is the definition of F tier.
Yes. All right. I got the alphabetical. All right. Newcomer Arizona. I like their coach.
And he did decide to stay, right?
He did stay.
Because he went into the portal.
Yep.
I
like them, but are they contenders though?
But they did lose their coaching staff to Washington.
But I do like Arizona as an up and coming, but
they just lost their entire coaching staff to Washington.
That is true. Yes. Listen, I can't. Yeah, they're not a contender to be.
They're a bottom.
Our definitions, they cannot go into C tier.
No.
Their rival Arizona State.
F.
UCF.
Super F.
UCF A and F.
It's hard because they're just coming up into a power conference, so we can look at
Cincinnati.
Yeah, but Cincinnati made it to the playoffs. Maybe UCF should have, but that was more than like 3 or so years ago. Only 60% win percentage against lower competition. They've gotten some good recruit classes though.
Yeah, are they though, Jared? Expected to make to be bowl eligible? Are they expected?
It's hard because they're just playing in a power conference for the first time. I mean, we can say yes. We can say yes, but they're a real D- F+.
All right.
It's just hard because their level of competition has changed so drastically.
Colorado.
This is such a weird. If you asked 100 people, you would get answers all the way from S to F.
So then we're putting him in F.
I'm saying I don't know if there's another team. But until they actually prove it on the field, I don't see them making the playoffs, which makes them a D in my head.
They were 4-8 last year.
Yeah,
they were
I know.
4-8.
Listen, I agree with you. I'm not making a case that they should be anything above D. I'm just saying that the perception of their program is incredibly high.
8 of their last 9 games.
I'm not disagreeing with you, Kyle. And they do have some insane talent on that team.
Are they expected?
No.
To be bowl eligible?
No.
Bowl eligible.
No.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Then they should be F. They expected to be bowl eligible. You said no, so they go to F.
Oh, you said bowl eligible?
Yes.
I thought
they're not expected.
I expect them to be bowl eligible this year.
I don't, because in 2022 they were 1-11. They were 4-8 3 years ago. So
Austin's making some good points in the chat. Unlike UCF, they'll be facing lower level of competition this year.
That's true.
Because the Big 12 sucks.
Well, the Big 12 sucks. Yeah. All right. Whatever. We're going to move on. Houston. F.
Yeah.
I don't know about Houston. So
again, higher level of competition, and they're not as good as Cincinnati or UCF has been.
Iowa State is kind of that hybrid of D and F.
So are they?
That's fine.
I think they're pretty
Kansas.
solidly an F.
Kansas.
F?
F.
Maybe a D?
Yeah.
Is it a D or is it an F?
They were ranked 23rd last year. I mean,
yeah, but we can't just base it on last year.
I mean, this is a team just 3 years ago who went 2-10.
Yeah. They're 44% over the past 3 years. They had a good year last year.
Are they expected to be bowl eligible? Is the question.
They'll be bowl eligible as long as they have their quarterback.
Okay. Then that means that they're D.
But
we answer it that way.
But that's not the health of the program. That's the health of having that one guy. What happens when he leaves? Because he's going to leave.
Now, Kansas State, they're a solid D. I don't think they're an F. They're D. Kansas State.
Okay. See, I guess the problem I'm having is like Kansas State. These teams, I'll throw UCF and Arizona in there too. These teams are not nearly as good as Kentucky, Minnesota, Texas A&M, Wisconsin.
We're going off of our definitions here, though.
I know. But
all right, finishing this off real quick though. Oklahoma State. Excuse me, Oklahoma State. They are not. Yeah, they are not a. Yep. Yeah.
They're a D tier.
Are they capable Austin, are they capable of making the playoffs?
They were in the Big 12 title game last year.
No, that's true. Yeah, because the Big 12 would get one. So if they...
And who else is... No, he's right. Who else is going to get it? Texas is gone. Oklahoma's gone.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just about to wrap them up here. So that the final teams are TCU, which I don't think TCU is that good. Texas Tech is an F. Utah and West Virginia. West Virginia is a DF. I don't care where you put them. It's between Utah and Oklahoma State. So yeah, I think Oklahoma State and Utah you would put in C.
And these Big 12 and ACC teams are getting elevated.
And then TCU would be D or F. Well, I think TCU is expected to.
They finished pretty good last year.
Yeah, I put them in D then. Yeah.
They were just in the playoffs a couple years ago, and they lost a lot of talent. But again, we need to focus on the overall health of the program. Yeah, they lost a lot of talent year before last, so they sucked at the beginning of last year, but they got better as the season went on. Hell, honestly, I kind of want to make them a C tier. They were just in the national title game 2 years ago. They play in a subpar Big 12. And I think over the next 3 or 4 years, it's totally plausible that they come back.
You're right.
We can't overweight just having one bad year because it was just last year when it was just sort of the natural flow of things. It's one thing if you lose a generational quarterback or you lose your head coach and then you become bad versus, just the natural talent loss of college football.
You're right. Last one's here. Yep.
I have a few pluses down here. Let's start off with Notre Dame, an independent.
I think based on ours, expected to make the playoffs. B, yes. Yeah.
I only have to finish in the new model, not this year's model. They only have to finish in the top 14, and they get an auto qualifier.
Yeah. Who do you got next here? The winner of the Pac-12. The top 2?
Yeah. not an auto qualifier. Oregon State was just very good. They'll be playing a lot of bad teams this year because they have a scheduling deal with the Mountain West.
Oh boy.
That being said, winning the I don't think, as Boise proved, winning.
Oregon State doesn't have that bad of a. Oregon State doesn't have that bad of a schedule.
Yeah, that's kind of the point. Like it's so not bad that I don't think that they make the playoffs, even if they only lose 2 games.
Yeah,
and it's the same thing with Washington State.
So
they find their way to the ACC. I don't know.
Just to get out of the just for the ACC to fall apart.
If they find their way into the ACC, Austin, they'll find their way into an ACC that doesn't have Miami or Florida State or Clemson or North Carolina or Georgia Tech. Like, it'll be the dead remnants of the ACC.
Yeah. All right. Washington State F. Washington State's not good.
They weren't. Okay.
They were not all that great.
Okay. I don't feel like fighting about it.
And then the last 2, I don't care wherever you want to put them. Liberty and Tulane.
I mean, they're. I'm not going to say they're capable of making. Well, actually, here's the thing: the group of 5 do get an auto qualifier.
Yeah, capable of. God, that's just looking at that. You have
all the way from Oklahoma,
Liberty,
all the way to Liberty
above of Texas A&M.
Yeah. This is the game we're playing right now with auto qualifiers and everything else. This is life right now for better or worse.
Yeah. Looking at this list here, Jared, S, A, and B, we're almost there. That's 13 teams there.
That's a good point.
We're almost at that 12, so.
Well, but here's the thing. We are at that 12 because that 12th spot goes to a group of 6 team.
Yeah, well, so, I'm saying in our S, A, and B, we have. Oh yeah, for 14. Yes.
There of the Power 4, if that's what we want to call them, of the Power 4, only 11 get in. State of the program tier list, Kyle. Here it is. Any changes? Any adjustments?
Welcome to college football.
Welcome to college football. Oh boy, that came in
real
big.
Whoa, hello, welcome to
Coastal Carolina.
Coastal Carolina.
I'm going to throw them in C too, because I feel like they're just as capable as Tulane and Liberty. Why not? We'll toss them in there. I could probably throw James Madison in here. Hello, James Madison. I'll throw James Madison in here because this is life. Sorry, this is how college football works now, everybody. That's where James Madison gets to go. That's life. I honestly think this list is pretty fair. Well, I appreciate that. I think it is too. Again, I kind of hate that, but it's just the nature of how college football works now. But I kind of hate that like Oklahoma and Missouri and Miami and Clemson are all in the same tier with Oklahoma State and Liberty and Coastal Carolina and JMU. But that's how college football works right now. Mm-hmm. That's just how college football works right now. Okay, that's it. That's our list. I'm going to go back over to this screen. And Kyle.
Yes.
Do you have anything in Kyle's corner?
How about those Columbus Crew?
Columbus Crew
doing great things. They are what? Well, I guess they've been splitting between MLS and the tournament that they've been playing in, but yeah, no losses so far this year. So yeah, they're looking really good this year.
Yeah. Is it Miami's year though?
But let's just be honest. It's messy. That's what it is. It's not Miami.
Yeah. It's messy.
Messy.
Is he making the entire MLS look bad right now? Is he showing the MLS for what it is?
For him being on the older side, he's still one of, if not the most talented.
I know, but I'm just saying he's kind of exposing the entire league right now.
It is what it is. I mean, look at Beckham. When Beckham came over,
Beckham was even older though.
And he still embarrassed MLS.
Yeah, but Beckham was nowhere near.
And then Wayne Rooney, when Rooney came over too, and he embarrassed at MLS. It's just another elite,
right. But I
player,
think
just another elite player getting ready to retire, doing one last hoorah of playing a few more games and just making the MLS look bad. It's just another player coming.
I know, but I think our expectations I think we like to think that the MLS has gotten better since those times. They have. They're better than the Mexican League. But when Beckham came over, we knew the MLS was shit. And I think by the time Messi comes over, we were kind of thinking, hey, MLS isn't the total shit show that it used to be. But then he is maybe disproving that. Although I will once again say Messi is much closer to his peak than Beckham was close to his peak. And also say that Messi's peak is much higher than Beckham's peak ever was too. I think Beckham was, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying he sucked, but I always thought he was more of a brand than a player, or rather that his brand exceeded his talent. But whatever. We don't need to get into a whole soccer discussion. Anything else in Kyle's Corner?
I don't know. I mean, one good thing about the one good thing about the crew. This was, I forget when I heard it. I don't know if it was recently or weeks ago, but I remember reading something about how somebody asked about Messi or talking to Messi and asking about the Columbus Crew and them coming off of their title, and um, he said that he was impressed with Coach Nancy, liked the way of his playing. Um, he had a lot of good things to say about the crew though. So got some good feedback from Messi, from one of the greats though, and the way the crew have been playing though. So if
Awesome.
that says anything,
Yeah, we'll see what happens when they play. We'll see what happens.
yeah. When do they play? It's I know. Good luck trying to get trying to get tickets though.
Yeah.
It is in July 4th.
Oh boy.
Wait. Nope,
Is that?
that was last year's. Sorry.
Oh,
That was last year's. Inter Miami versus Columbus. Wow, I cannot find it easy. Just
okay.
go ahead and
Well,
end
we're
the
ending the
episode.
episode. You guys know how to use Google, maybe better than Kyle. So
Yep.
that's it. That's the end of the episode. Tonight's ending music once again is from Doc Robinson, a group out of Columbus. So with all that being said, I'd like to encourage everyone to drink local beer, listen to local music, and of course support local podcasters. Once again, this is Doc Robinson.